Yeah, I'm Tommy James. I've known Frank a long time. He and I go back to high school. I served on the Gainesville Economic Development Corporation with Frank for about 10 years when he was president. During that time, I got to see his love for Gainesville and his desire for Gainesville to prosper and grow. I also got to see his dedication to Gainesville and his desire for Gainesville to realize its potential and to create opportunity for our citizens. There's probably not a worthy cause or a board that he hasn't contributed to or served on, and that has made him a great leader for the city of Gainesville.
He is a phenomenal husband, been a great father, and from what I have always observed, a very, very good businessman.
Frank is one of those individuals who just does things right. He treats people right, he runs his business right, he takes care of his employees and his customers, and he reinvests himself and his business back in the community.
Frank and I have hunted in West Texas for years, hunted South Texas deer hunting for years together. He obviously has touched so many things in our community. So I thought about the Performing Arts Center at the college, and I moved to the zoo that he was instrumental in, Leonard Park. I thought about that, the GEDC, the school board.
My name is Luke Grisafi, and Frank has been a friend of mine since 1967. Well, we met here in Gainesville during our period at Cook County, which is now NCTC, and then we went on to North Texas, and we were actually roommates there at North Texas. Frank was one of those individuals that actually came back to Gainesville after college when most people were, how do I get away from the small town? Now, he certainly did perform professionally in his career in other places before he moved back to Gainesville, but once he made the move back to Gainesville, it was a commitment to this community that he grew up in.
So many things he's been involved in, Medal of Honor part, Medal of Honor program that we do here. The bank, with his leadership, has been involved in so many projects here in town. And so about the time I got to McDonald's, I quit, because as I was moving east, it just became overwhelming what all he's done. I'm extremely proud he's my friend, and I think Gainesville would be a different place without him. And so I think Gainesville's very fortunate to have a Frank Morris.
He has, in many ways, taken First State Bank to levels that his grandfather and father probably never dreamed would happen. And he did that with hiring people that literally this could be the last job they ever have. And the tenure of the people there, speak for his leadership in that area.
I'm Ryan Morris, and a little bit different because not only is Frank my father, but he is also my boss and mentor and my best friend. So it's a pretty special relationship that we have. When we talk about Frank's service to the Gainesville area, that's something that we look at as a family and as a company, all of that really together, and we look at it every year, and it's a big part of what we do to support the community. And it's really easy to see the big things that he's done that have had a major impact on our community and the quality of life here that couldn't have happened without his support and some of his friends. The major expansion to the Frank Buck Zoo with the African Savannah that has the First State Bank logo on it may not have been able to have been achieved without his support. The NCTC Center for Performing Arts is another thing. The amount of support that he's given to the arts and entertainment and culture in our town is really just amazing. That's just the big gestures. Then you talk about the thousands of smaller things over the years that he's done to support United Way and CASA and the Medal of Honor Host City program and everything else throughout the town and the community, all of the school districts and all the sponsorships that he's made, scholarships that he's provided. It's really hard to wrap your hands around how much he's done. Something that I think most people, when they look at a big success story, they see the fruits of the labor. They see what you enjoy at the end. They don't see the blood, sweat, and tears that go into it. So I think it is really important to understand how his career progressed. In 1979, his father, my grandfather Fletcher, passed away unexpectedly at 50 years old, heart attack overnight. And suddenly, Frank, at 33 years old in 1980, was the president of a bank. So at a young age, with a young family, he takes over right before the S&L crisis. And then oil crashed. And from 1982, over the next 15 years, over 500 banks in Texas failed. More banks failed during this period than in the Great Depression. A third of all banks in Texas failed. And there he was, having to be a father to a young family and to guide this bank and to do all of the things that he did for the community at the same time. And those were things that as a kid I didn't really appreciate growing up. But I grew to appreciate it more and more and realized that the bank wouldn't be here if it were not for him. He's taught me, you said legacy. I would say it's a debt to the community. We owe everything to Gainesville and Cook County. They've been a wonderful supporter to us, and we have to remember that and respect that and continue to take care of it and do everything we can to support our home because they've been really good to us.
Frank has a phrase that I've always liked, and when he's talking about something that's exceptional, maybe like somebody that does something above and beyond, or maybe even a food that's exceptional, or maybe even a great glass of wine, he describes it as being over the top. Well, Frank, my friend, everything you've done for our community, all the boards you've served on, all the contributions you've done have been over the top. Congratulations.